Oh, please bear with me as I give a brief history of the problems you are about to see. A few years ago, a tenant improvement was performed. The contract was awarded to 2H Construction, and the plumbing was subcontracted to Neptune Plumbing out of the San Fernando Valley. Well, within a week or two of the site going live, they started having repetitive stoppage issues, about every 2 weeks. I went in and investigated and found a few things that could be changed to eliminate the problem. Neptune Plumbing took care of the corrections, or so we thought. A year and a half go by and they started having problems again. I reinvestigated and you are now about to see what I found. Brace yourself. It's truly unbelievable. Neptune Plumbing had gone ahead and changed out the no-hub cast iron and put in ABS, which is extremely illegal in a situation like this. Unbelievable. But anyway, I looked over, grabbed my flashlight, and I peered in and noticed that there was an extensive belly, basically about 25 feet long, would be my guesstimation. So I crawled up in there to see what in the heck had caused that to happen, and found that they had used baling wire of all things to support their ABS, and the baling wire had failed. And no legitimate plumbing company in their right mind would ever consider using baling wire. I mean, that's just absolutely preposterous. But anyway, they did. Well, I passed that information on to the powers that be, and supposedly Neptune Plumbing gone out and taken out the ABS and put it all back into cast iron. I took it upon myself to go out there on a Saturday, took my video camera, and well, the following footage is what you're going to see. Well, quite unbelievably, the ABS is still there, and the methods that were used to strap this go against the Uniform Plumbing Code. You're not allowed to use anything abrasive metals, sharp edges, things like that. Not allowed to come in contact with ABS. That's just prohibited. All right, so we're continuing on over towards the, we're continuing on over towards the restroom. This is still running, the line that's running towards Walker Street. You can see here the hose clamp. Anyway, as we can see right here, they have ABS. You can still see a little bit of that tie wire. Anyway, they've transitioned to cast iron. This section appears, I'd have to go run and grab a level, but it's pretty clear that it's actually still falling backwards again. Now, at a point in time when I first looked at this and all the tie wire was falling, not only was this section here falling back, it was actually going uphill towards the drain, which was the reverse of the way that it should have been. But as well, which I couldn't really see as well in those pictures that I initially took, that all of this right here was falling backwards. There was one of the pieces of ABS plumber's tape. I think you can see that pretty well in the video that I used to try to help support this while this matter got resolved. And fine. I mean, that's typically the way I do it. I did it a little bit differently, but nonetheless, I use wooden blocks on ABS. It's the metal plumber's tape that is forbidden by the Uniform Plumbing Code. It's just not an acceptable practice. The hose clamps, not an acceptable practice. Now, furthermore, those two no-hub couplings that they use to transition between the cast iron and the ABS, those aren't actually legal. CP33s, cast iron to plastic mission couplings, would have been the proper way to have done that. Anyway, we're moving right along here. I'm not able to really hold and concentrate on keeping the camera really straight and everything, but at least you get an idea that all of this is still done in the ABS. You can see over here, well, there's the, see if I can zoom in a little bit. There's the metal on the tie wire. That's the way they had done it.
So anyway, this should dispel the myth that they came in and corrected it.
Now, there was another problem here, and I need to reiterate that it had absolutely nothing to do with Neptune Plumbing. There was an existing condition that needed to be corrected. All the changes of direction here in this area made stoppage issues inevitable.
All right, there's the conglomeration that needs to be corrected. You can see how it comes back towards us and then goes back around. That 4-inch that we see going away from us, that is the one that serves the restroom over by Kathy's office. This 4-inch has been changed around a little bit right here, and we can see that it's definitely got needs to be straightened up some. Now right here is where you have the 4-inch 1/8 bend that now transitions to 3-inch ABS. That's the 3-inch ABS that was changed out, and that goes to the OBGYN restroom and also the procedure room.
Well, so now Parker Plumbing Company does things, and here's everything that's been completely corrected. And we firmly stand behind what we've done, and we don't think there's going to be any further issues with this.
See the work that was done? We eliminated, 180 degrees? Not quite that much, change of direction here. That's that 4-inch waistline that goes over to Kathy's office and picks up that restroom that's been one of the problem areas. So quite a bit of it's been, quite a bit of those changes of all, turns. Now we're only 90 degrees instead of what? Yeah, there was about 180, so this should definitely work out a lot better. We also eliminated a bunch of the Ys that were right in this area here. And we made one straight line and completely reconfigured the existing that was done by Neptune for all of their new work so that this had really nice flow characteristics. Okay, this is the upper waistline, picking up the middle, we'll call it the fire bathroom, the infamous fire bathroom. This, right here, you can see this old section. That was theirs. It used to make a 90-degree turn, drop down into this bay, and tie into this waistline further down. So it made a couple more changes of direction. So what we did, come back up to it. We took all of those lines and tied them all in. Oops, now I can zoom back out. Brought them all down so everything that goes into that stack, that vertical waist stack, is all in one straight line, converging, eliminating many of the changes of direction. Now, this is now the new cast iron. Oh, notice, properly supported with rods and hangers. So, here it is. Crawl space is a little bit of a bear, but anyway, as you can see, we've got our cast iron in place. Get the light in here well enough. Anyway, it's all properly supported, properly hung. Now, we had to cheat the fall just a little bit. We couldn't quite get a full 1/4 inch to the foot. We had to go to 3/16 of a foot in order to make it all flow proper. Well, I wasn't paying too much attention to the screen as I was looking at the actual work. In essence, we had to adjust our fall to 3/16 of an inch instead of a 1/4. But again, the most critical part is that it has consistent 3/16 inch to the foot instead of a 1/4 in some spots and flat in others. We want to keep everything moving at a constant speed, not slow up, speed down. The minute it slows up is where you'll start to wind up with stoppage issues, and well, you won't have that problem anymore. Well, let's see how this turns out in the video. Anyway, we're back to about where we had our original footage. I'm not going to crawl this thing the way that I did the other one. I think I've documented everything well enough. Alright, as I said, I'm not going to crawl this, but I am going to show that we did in fact do exactly what we said we were going to do. You should be able to see quite clearly that that waistline now has real nice, smooth, consistent fall. Alright, so down there, that is the medium sweep that makes the turn. Now the line as it comes towards us, this is headed actually towards that OBGYN restroom. You see it coming off to the left side of the screen here. Let me try and zoom out. Yeah, sorry we're getting too close here. I'm only a few inches from it. But at any rate, and it's heading down that way to the restroom. So, yeah, the work's all done. Shouldn't have any more problems with this. There is some other shady work down there. Oh, also a little side note. Let's see if I can capture it. I noticed, didn't even notice it until another time when I was in here last night. Where'd it go? If you count the number of tubes that are breaking from top to bottom, right to left, you'll notice that, somebody cut one of those out. Maybe even two of them. Don't know who the genius was that decided to do that, but that really takes away from the structural integrity of these truss joists. You might want to look into having that re-engineered and repaired before it becomes a liability issue. And as a side note on that little matter, yes, that was done recently. I found remnants up in here of the cutout section. It wasn't an existing condition.